we're getting towards the end of the season. I'm starting to see some talks about Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Right. So, Brad, you actually were the one that was spearheading this. And I think it's a great topic.
Yes. So, because I've been thinking about it for the last several days, and I was just like, you know what, maybe this is a good time. We've got three more games to go before the end of the season. Rather than wait until the season's over, I thought perhaps maybe this would be a good time to talk about it. And if Kevin Stefanski isn't the Coach of the Year, I don't know what anybody else is watching. The guy has gone through four quarterbacks this season, and is most likely going to get his team in the playoffs with A1 Joe Flacco, who's questionable this week. But
thank God, he's being too elite. He's being
ridiculous. I mean, like some of the plays that have been drawn up and the way that he's been coaching this team and the chemistry that they have built in the locker room, that is all coaching. And so I just think that Kevin Stefanski deserves Coach of the Year. I don't know who comes in above him.
I think he's definitely a great candidate, especially given what's happened. They've won games with PJ Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson,
DTS,
right?
DTR,
Joe Flacco, but they got Joe Flacco now. Like that was the best decision of the season for them.
Yeah.
And no matter what happens, they find ways. I'm with you. I think he's a great candidate.
If I'm going to argue someone, I would say it's Steichen on the Colts because I'm going to say first year, immediately you are thrown into your star player, hates the owner, hates everything, doesn't want to play. You have this big contract situation.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
What you're talking about.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. And then Anthony Richardson goes down. So now your first round pick quarterback is injured. You're having Gardner Minshew and they're 5-1 in the last 6 games. I think Stefanski, like you said, I mean, 4 quarterbacks. If you have
and they beat the Ravens.
What was that?
I said, and they beat the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a big win. Looking at who they've beaten and who they've lost to this year. I mean, they haven't really beaten great teams, Ravens aside, and then you got the Texans as well. But you look at who they have beaten, and that win's going to hold weight. A win over the Ravens. I mean, come when it's time to vote.
No, I think Stefanski, especially when, like you said, they have wins over the Ravens, a win over the Ravens. They have a win over the 49ers. I think his stat sheet, like his resume this year is Coach of the Year. I think he does, but I think Steichen should get some votes. I'm sure Harbaugh will get votes if the Ravens go on and get the 1 seed, but I do think Stefanski's the guy to get it.
Well, how about this? Still stick in the AFC South. D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah.
How about that? It's a 3-way tie, by the way, with the Colts, the Jags, and the Texans atop the top of the division.
Yeah.
And without CJ Stroud, they started Case Keenum and pulled out a victory. Yes, I know the Titans aren't having the year that they want, but they were supposed to be a top 3 worst team.
Yeah.
And yes, CJ Stroud looks like the dude, right? But I think that was so impressive. I think another guy can get consideration depending on how the season finishes out. And I think they need to beat Dallas for this to really solidify, would be Dan Campbell.
Oh, don't steal mine.
Oh, well, you like Dan Campbell.
I do.
I'm surprised nobody brought up Mike McDaniel.
Well, hey, Rock, can you explain why with Dan Campbell even more?
I think Dan Campbell, what did they have? Hard Knocks last year, and that's not, it was all this hype that was just building last season, and then you miss out on postseason play. But what Dan Campbell has done with a Lions team that was, 3-12 in 2019, and he's building them up. They're 10-4 right now on the season. He's done a fantastic job. He's a guy that I would run through a brick wall for. D'Amico Ryans, though, to be in the situation that the Texans were in the last couple of years, and for him to come in, that's like, for me, it's got to be Campbell, D'Amico Ryans, and Stefanski are like 1A and 1B right now. Like, I don't think any option that we just said is a bad option. I don't think if one of those 3 guys wins it, we're going to be like, why the hell did that guy win it? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The other part too, I saw.
And they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. So the other part was saying, no love for Mike McDaniel. We did Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins tremendous. He's changed the entire culture of Miami. Yeah. Brought to a life, brought energy to the team, and people in the team just seems like they love to play for him. But the only problem with the Dolphins I have right now, is if they don't end up winning this division. They got some tough games. They got Dallas coming to town, then they got Dallas, Ravens, Buffalo.
Oof.
If they win those games, Mike McDaniel probably then would elevate himself towards the top of the list. But he's got to get by those games. So I think that's why when we're looking at this other case, the Colts and the Texans, if you had said that they would be playoff teams right now or in the hunt of it at the top of their division, I think everyone would be, you're kind of crazy. You're nuts, to your guys' points. Kevin Stefanski, because of the fact that, once again, you don't have your quarterback, and yet you are still beat some tremendous teams, and
you have your fourth quarterback.
Yeah.
And it might be the best of
Finding
all.
ways to win.
Yeah,
Just
right.
finding ways to win.